Honourable members, shall we pray? Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favour upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labours of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Embrace the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, let's turn to item 4 in today's order paper, correction of votes and proceedings. We will start from page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Yes, Honourable Member.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Page 8, item number 31. Mr. Speaker, I was present last Friday, but I've been marked absent.
Item number
31. And Mr. Speaker, it's been recurring. Last week, same thing happened, and this week it's happening to me again.
So, Honourable Member, who will you blame? Because I've made this countless times that a member, when you come to the chamber, make sure you register your name. For now, that is the only way we can assess ourselves that you came or you didn't come. So if you came and you refuse to register your name on the register, obviously you are going to be marked absent. And we have said this countless times, yet members still refuse to sign their names on the register.
Mr. Speaker, I duly registered. I'm very sure I registered. And if you cross, you'll find that I signed. So last week it happened the same way, and this week it's happening again.
So let me. Did you sign on the register?
Yes, I signed.
Okay, then I'll ask the table to check. If indeed you sign, correction will be made that you came. But if you didn't sign,
I signed.
You signed?
Yes.
Okay, table, please check if on the records he came and signed, then effect the corrections. So we turn to page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Page 20. Page number 21. Page 22. Page 23. Honorable member, are you up on your feet? Page 24. Page 25. Page 26. Page number 27. Yes, honorable member for Buim. Yes. Yes, honorable Kofi.
Speaker, thank you very much. This one I want to seek your guidance. And that's
Which page?
understanding orders, page 25,
Yes.
understanding orders committee.
Yes.
Opening. It says the committee met on Wednesday, 15th November 2023 at 4:30 p.m. and considered the draft standing orders of Parliament. There are times we are told the standing orders have been adopted.
You said page 25.
26. There are times we are told it's been adopted. There are other times we told it's draft. So what is the House and the committee working with? Is it what has been adopted or is still in the draft state? If it's been adopted by the House, then I think that the wording must be corrected appropriately, as has been captured even in the budget. But we cannot continue to be dealing with draft standing orders, and at other times it's communicated to us that it's been adopted. So what exactly is the status of the new standing orders?
Well, honorable member, I think we are collecting the votes and proceedings, but my understanding, and I guess you were here in the chamber, that the report of the draft from the committee was adopted here. So the report has been adopted. There's no two ways about that. But we are yet to do resolution so that we can say this is the new standing orders. Kofi, are you listening to me? Yes. So the report has been adopted, but until we pass the resolution, we can still have some fine-tuning, and I think that is what is going on. So the adoption of the report, there's no two ways about that. So we are yet to pass a resolution so that we can work with the report. So, yes, leader.
Just wanted to add that the intention is to take the new standing orders through consideration so that we'll be able to look at it line by line clause by clause and for members to be able to make amendments. So even though the report has been adopted, the standing order is not in force until we are done with the consideration and final resolution. Thank you.
Very well. So we are singing the same song. So we are here to actually approve it by way of resolution. Then we can move on with it. So thank you, Kofi. So we move to page 27. Page 28. Yes, honorable member for BM.
Speaker, page 28, under Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Item 1, opening. The committee met on Tuesday, 16th November. 16th November is Thursday, so the date there should be corrected. Since there's another earlier meeting which happened for the same committee on Tuesday, 14th, I believe this should be 16th. The 16th should be Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Honorable member. So table, take note, 16th November was not Tuesday. So just effect the change. Let's turn to page 29. Page 30. Page number 31. And finally, page 32. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Friday, 17th November 2023 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honorable members, yes, leader, I have official report to review. Honorable members, I have in my hands the official report of 7th November 2023. The official report of 7th November 2023. Honorable members, I take it again and for the last time, the official report of 7th November 2023. Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of 7th November 2023 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, at the commencement of public business, we take presentation of papers. Item number 6 on page 3. Mr. Speaker, the minister is unavoidably absent, and I seek your leave for the trade minister to lay the papers on his list.
Who is the trade minister? Is it trade and
Industry minister?
Very well. Very well.
And Mr. Speaker, there are 3 of such papers to be laid by the energy minister, the education minister, and the environment, science and technology minister. So he will be laid for all the 4 ministers. Thank you very much.
Yes. Before I'll grant your leave, let me hear from the minority leadership.
Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, the ministers who are supposed to lay the papers, none of them is here. None of them. Minister for Youth and Sports, absent. Minister for Energy, absent. Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, absent. Minister for Transport, absent. Mr. Speaker, this can't continue. I know the Minister for Trade and Industry is here. But Mr. Speaker, these are major bills, some of them. And some of them I would have wished, because I'm seeing it for the first time, for the ministers to at least make some small comment about it before it's laid. Mr. Speaker, if I have my way, it will be better we wait for the ministers to come. Because all of them, no wonder I can count on my one hand how many members from the majority side are here. Mr. Speaker, this cannot continue. I can count only about 6 members of parliament from the majority side. And the ministers who are supposed to be doing business here are not here. They are not here. So why should we be the ones to be doing the cabinet business for them?
Are you still a minister? Are you a minister?
Why should we be? So, Mr. Speaker, I think it's something that we have to.
Are you a minister?
Yeah, come in. Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, this is just laying of the papers. The ministers will be here to report on it. So, with your leave once again, we've engaged. He wasn't here, and this agreement was reached before coming to the chamber. I'm surprised he's coming to shoot everything down.
Honorable Minister, you hold on. I'll come to you. You give me small time. I'll come to you. Yes.
So, Mr. Speaker, as you are aware at conclave, we engaged and I reached this agreement. He wasn't there. Yes, all due respect to him, he's a leader of the other side. But this is what we agreed on before coming to the chamber.
Yes, leader, I've heard you. Minority leadership, I want to plead with you. But what the minority leader is saying, I think we have to take serious look at it. I mean, let's put everything aside. We have to take serious look at it. If you're a minister and you've been assigned to come and do business in the chamber, it's a serious business. I mean, let's take everything aside. So you should make time and come and do business with it. But minority leadership, I want to plead with you, at least for us to allow the minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, when the minority leader, Dr. Honourable Kasia Atofose, who on record, and let me put it on record, is my brother. I think I want to put this on record, that the minority leader is my brother. Direct, no doubt about that. Am I lying? No, you have never lied before. You have never been lied before. Speaker, having declared my brotherhood to the minority leader, let me state on authority that when he was deputy minister in charge of finance, even when it comes to laying of chicken feet, he's always here to lay it. A man of integrity, a distinguished man, an accomplished man, a serious man, a man who takes this house very seriously. And so when he's raising these issues, it's not as if he's just raising it. He's raising it based on his past experience. On that note, Mr. Speaker, let me salute the minority leader once again. Thank you very much.
Good. Mr. Speaker,
if I don't allow the Minister for Trade to say something, I can't step out and say again. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I can assure you I won't throw any mini bombs. I simply want to ascertain certain very clear facts, biological facts. I thought he was my junior brother. I don't happen to come from the same area that he comes from. So I don't know when suddenly he became a brother to be put on record. And so I thought you would have to declare a few things to me so we know where the brother thing is coming from. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, you really make the point quite aptly that my colleagues should be here. But it's also a matter that I think we should all take account of. It is true, he would always be here, even as you quote unquote, it was about chicken feed. I don't know when we ever debated chicken feed here, but that's a different matter. But Mr. Speaker, there are also times that unavoidably, some of them cannot be here. I'm not. Mr. Speaker, so unavoidably, sometimes they can't be here. Why some of the deputies are not here, I can't be sure. I can't speak to that. Madam Speaker, as the deputy whip puts it, we're actually not debating these matters. It's a matter of just laying. I mean, there will be opportunity for the debate, and of course, they will be here to speak about this. So it's a matter of simply, Mr. Speaker, laying them. So I think I'll crave your indulgence and that of our two, and now assumed biological or chemical brother, I will plead with all of them to allow us to me to lay the papers on their behalf. Then we'll take it forward.
Thank you so much. Let me give the last to Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu Ajari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am worried that for the second time, the Minister of Education is absent. Last week, he was billed to answer questions. He was unable to do that. Then today, we've been asked to come just to find that the questions are not on the other paper. And this is the second time. Mr. Speaker, children are under trees studying. He has to answer to the people of Ghana. This is not fair. This is not right. This is the second time, Mr. Speaker, and we have to do something about it. So if you look at tomorrow's order paper too, he's not billed to answer the questions tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, why? This is not right. Children are suffering in our villages, and this is not proper. Thank you very much.
Well. Honourable members, like I pleaded with the minority leadership, we will accede to the request of the majority whip. But I'm trying to also plead with the business organizers that before you bill any minister to appear before the House, either to come and answer questions, to come and lay paper, or to come and do any other business, please, let's have this cordial relationship with the minister. For the minister to assure Parliament that indeed he will make time for us. So that we don't come and the minister will be billed and the minister will be unavoidably. If he is unavoidably, then the leadership should know that indeed, for whatever reason, the minister will not be here. So we don't program him for the day. I think we have to look at it again. So, Honorable, our seat, we are request and ask the Minister for Trade and Industry to lay the papers for and on behalf of his colleagues. So, let me invite members to turn to page 3, to commence the public business for the day. So we will begin with 6A, with the Minister for Youth and Sports.
Sports Regulations 2023.
Honorable members, the regulation has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Subsidiary Registration for consideration and report. Let's move to item 6B. 6B.
Energy Commission Electrical Wiring Cables and Electrical Accessories Regulations 2023.
Honourable members, the regulation have been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation for consideration and report. We turn to 6C. We are taking I. We are taking all of them together, so the minister will bow to all of them.
Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana Regulations 2023. Annual statement.
Hold on. Don't read. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. The 6CI, that one is Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana. It's a regulation, so it should go to subsidiary legislation. So we cannot take all at the same time. So we take that one separately, then you can take II to the end. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. So, Minister, you bow for 6I, then you do the rest together, because the referral will be made differently.
Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana Regulations 2023.
Honourable members, the regulation has been duly presented. They are referred to the subsidiary committee for consideration and report. So now we take the II to V together. Minister.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Gambaga College of Education, year 2020. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Fosu College of Education for the year 2021. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Fosu College of Education for the year 2022. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Bewa College of Education, Pusiga, for the year 2022. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Al-Rafar College of Education, Wenchi, for the year 2022.
Honourable members, the statements in today's order paper, page 36, C, I, V, and VI have been duly presented. They are referred to the Committee on Education for consideration and report. Let's now turn to page 4D.
Mr. Speaker, this chamber would always remain a legislative classroom, and I'm always ready to submit myself to tutorials and lectures. Mr. Speaker, our respected colleague from Makatino grounded an objection on a matter to the effect that there could not be a composite laying of papers items I to IV and your objection, and that we have to lay I and do the others as composite separately. Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the rationale behind saying, because to me, if the order is to lay all instead of the minister rising and sitting, it doesn't really matter whether one is a legislative instrument or a CI and the others are merely a report. That's my view with respect. But I'm ready to learn from the chair and to learn further from him. No, it's not Manson. We're supposed to learn. So get into the mic, let the record capture the view you are expressing. Because, Mr. Speaker, we are talking about laying of papers. I am ready to learn, and correct me if I'm wrong. We are laying papers. Honorable member for Akachi North, I will be ready to learn more from you, that the basis upon which you argue that because there are different items and there are papers to be laid, same cannot be done. I'm ready to learn. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, leader, I think I did so because of the committee that we're going to work on it. So that is why the reference to I, which was a regulation, was to be directed to subsidiary legislation. So I decided to do that one, and the rest, which were going to education, I decided to do that one as well. So, leader, that was my decision. I think you side with me on this call.
Whilst I am thanking you for your wisdom, may I add that on this occasion it's the same minister who was laying all the papers. No, I am saying whilst thanking him, I am not challenging Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker hasn't given a ruling. He has expressed a view and he's inviting us to, deliberate on it. So, Mr. Speaker, if you are saying that because they are different subject matters, we have to lay them separately, Mr. Speaker, the records will capture you as such and we'll learn from it. The presidential value will take effect immediately. So I thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So, honorable members, let's turn to page 4. Let's turn to page 4. Honorable members, let's turn to page 4. Item listed D, says D. Honorable Minister for Trade and Industry, my Adanse senior brother, D, do us the honors with the D. Thank you.
Bilateral agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, and the Government of the Republic of Singapore for engagement in cooperative approaches involving internationally transferred mitigation outcomes under the Paris Climate Change Agreement.
Honourable members, the agreement has been presented. It is referred to the Committee on Environment, Science and Technology for consideration and report. Now we turn to Ye by the Minister for Transport. And that one too, we have VI. And I will indulge the Minister once again, that's the Minister for Trade and Industry, to do as the honors. So once you bow, we are taking care of the entire E.
Bilateral Air Services Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the Government of the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg relating to establishing air services. Bilateral Air Services Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the Government of the Republic of Mauritius relating to establishing air services. Bilateral Air Services Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the Government of the State of Qatar relating to establishing air services. Bilateral Air Services Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the Government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana relating to establishing air services. Bilateral Air Services Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the Government of the Republic of Benin relating to the establishing air services. Bilateral air services agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, and the Government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia relating to the establishing air services.
Honorable members, the agreements of EI, II, IV, V, and VI have been duly presented. They are referred to the Committee on Transport, Rules and Transport for consideration and report. Very well. Yes, Honorable Member for
Awutu Senya West.
Awutu Senya West.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to refer to EIII, the Bilateral Air Services Agreement between Government of the Republic of Ghana and the Government of the State of Qatar. There are already air services flying between the two countries. That is why Qatar Airways flies to Ghana. So I'm wondering why this is now being, is it that this is now being presented, or one process preceded another, which shouldn't have been the case of? I think we'll need some explanation for this. Thank you, Mrs. Speaker.
Well, I don't know. It could be a new agreement that we are reaching. The two countries are reaching. So I can't.
These will have to be agreed to before the next.
It could be an enhancement. Already fine. They are applying here, but the agreement could be an enhancement package. I don't know. I can't speak to it. My duty is to lay the papers. So probably the committee, which is Rules and Transport Committee, they will have to delve into some of these things. I hope I'm making sense to you.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So that's why we are referring to the committee. The committee will look into all these matters and report to us.
To add to what my colleague was talking about, she is talking about patience, but I think when you're also laying something referring to your ministry, a senior representative of the ministry should be here. Trade and industry cannot do this for transport.
Well,
because there may be some clarifications that may be needed, not a committee, but even in the plenary here.
Honourable member, I share with you, but we've already gone past that. We have admonished leadership to do well to bring ministers who are destined to come and do business with us. So we hope that going forward, the ministers will be coming to lay their papers, to answer questions as they normally do. So, Honourable Member for Senya West, Awutu Senya West, please, we've already taken notice of your concerns. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, before I make the comment, I may want to thank the Honourable Member, Gisela Tete, for bringing a rich experience to the floor to benefit all of us. Mr. Speaker, it is for this reason that the minority leader was saying that the ministers themselves must be here before we allow them to proceed. Well, we have serious challenges with the people being presented today. And if you go to our standing orders, if the ministers were to be here, or if they were here, if you go to order 75.2, it says that the person presenting the paper may make short explanatory statements. So the confusion that we are having now wouldn't have even arisen at all. So, Mr. Speaker, sometimes when in minority, we are kicking against laying of papers, you don't just say, oh, they are just mere presentation. And the reason why sometimes most papers are presented and there are no reports. So I don't know if the honourable member who laid the paper may go ahead, because The others say that a short explanatory statement may be made in that direction. Mr. Speaker, we and you are here. So those presenting the paper must help the honorable member out. Because I'm not an expert in that field, but she is. But I know the sponsors may also be.
Very well. I thank you for the comment, but like I said, we've already gone past this area. We will just urge the business committee and those who do the dairy activities to make sure that the ministers that are billed to come and do business with us make time to come. I hope they will link up with executives. So, honorable members, let's now turn to F. Now, do we have the committee chair? Are they here? Leader? Yes.
Speaker, we are taking order paper addendum. So let's go to the order paper addendum. That is coming from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and the minister himself is here to take it. You haven't received it?
Have you finished?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The minister himself is here.
Honorable members, let's allow her to finish. I'll give you the opportunity, please. Yes, leader, let's hear you.
Yes, so I'm saying that this is from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and the minister is sitting right here to take it. Thank you.
Yes, minority leadership.
Mr. Speaker, the matter before us is a regulation on restrictions on importation of selected strategic products. Restrictions on importation of selected strategic products. Mr. Speaker, it's a matter of public interest. And the convention in the House has been that the committee responsible for subsidiary legislation will take it through pre-laying. Mr. Speaker, I spoke to the chairman of the subsidiary legislation. He informed me that they will do the pre-laying tomorrow morning. I want to plead with you, Right Honorable Speaker, to urge the minister to wait. So that tomorrow, after we've done the pre-laying and we're all comfortable with it, then it can be laid. Because we know the procedures relating to regulations. Mr. Speaker, it is important that we deal with the pre-laying first. Because the matter before us is a serious matter. Restrictions on importations of selected strategic products. What constitutes the strategic product? What are the items that we are restricting? Because I think it's something that we should be interested in. Thank you, Right Honorable. And I urge my uncle to slow down on this matter. Thank you.
Leader, I'll come to you. Honorable Aini, you are the chairperson for subsidiary legislation. Can you say something on this?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the pre-laying consideration, as you very well know, is not something that is mandated by the rules of this House or by it's a convention that has been established. And the convention serves this House very well because at any point in time that the instrument is late, the ruling of the Supreme Court is that you cannot even change one word in it. Meaning that when it is laid and referred to the committee can bring a report, and if dissatisfied with the report, with the instrument, the committee can then recommend that the instrument be thrown, out of, Parliament. So, Mr. Speaker, the minister is at liberty, subject to the agreement of this House, to lay the instrument for it to be referred to us. But if the preference is that the convention that we have established be, followed, then between leadership and yourself, the instrument, should not be laid today. We can look at it tomorrow, and then, for it to be laid after the pre-laying. Very well, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well. Minister, let me hear the leader. You wanted to, so I should give it to Minister. That is what.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, we got to be careful to allow conventions overreach constitutional and statutory provisions. I think it is accepted that the issue of pre-laying has no constitutional or statutory basis. I thought from my long presence in this House that it is when these political CIs and allies are triggered that there is this sort of controversy, and then decision has always been let the House have a preview of it, and then it is laid. Other than that, Mr. Speaker, it is laid, and by constitutional provisions, if by two-thirds majority the House doesn't like it, it is thrown away. Other than that, in 21 days, it matures. So, but we have had some discussion with my colleague. It was agreed that we could, I thought maybe I misunderstood what we read, the outcomes of our discussions. But I thought that it was suggested that I could lay it today, and then tomorrow my colleagues on the committee would have a look at it. Mr. Speaker, if along the line they believe that I should withdraw or whatever, I could. Or, because there is nothing, really nothing straight. You're saying that it's a matter that everybody is interested in. Yes, it is true, but of course that is why it has been brought to Parliament. If it was only a matter of ministerial directives, we would have done so. But it's a matter, it's a restricting, but there is a committee that is going to ensure that there's enough in the country to make sure that there's no shortage in the system, but they are at the same time also ensuring that there is no superfluous overflow of items in the country, and the Speaker also to ensure that the foreign exchange reserves, the Speaker, are controlled. In any event, he's talked about just the first one. There are actually two items on the document. Mr. Speaker, there is also the Ghana Standards Authority Manufacture of Cement regulations. Mr. Speaker, you recall that only a few days ago, the Standards Authority actually shut down some 3 companies manufacturing cement in the country. Mr. Speaker, they actually preempted the provisions in my LI. But that is the reason we got to get this thing going. So if it's only because of convention, I accept the value of convention in our scheme of things. But if it won't cause any harm, let's lay it. Tomorrow, when the committee, myself, my colleagues have met, and there's something quite dramatically wrong with it, we can always, Mr. Speaker, pull it back. But I think as it is, there is nothing very harmful at all in it, so they should let me lay it. Let me lay it as a matter of law. Let me lay it as a matter of constitution. You cannot prevent me laying this as a matter of convention. When the law, the constitution says that it should be laid, and then after 21 days, it is law. If you don't have the two-thirds majority, Mr. Speaker, to set it aside. All the decision is not made by two-thirds majority to nullify it. So, I mean, pleading by way of convention to overset constitutional provision is not right in the context of what we are doing today, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm even surprised that the Minister for Trade is taking this position. I guess that what the minority-led suggestion is to help you. Because as Dr. Yine rightly explained, once you lay it, you can't even cross a T or dot an I. The only way will be to withdraw. Why don't you just accept this compromise position so that you do the work tomorrow? If there are any winnowing or correction, you do it and lay it. I think that is tidier, is neater. Conventions might not be law, but conventions help a lot. And when there are conventions, please be careful not to break those conventions unless it's of a matter of necessity. Mr. Speaker.
Eugene, but you vote no.
So, secondly, Mr. Speaker, as we sit here, we don't even have copies of the addendum. I've seen 1 or 2 people holding. I would just plead with Minister Minister, for us to move in this smooth sailing and to allow progress, please yield to the suggestion that we defer for only today, so that tomorrow, after you've done a good job, you come back and lay it. It's tidier, it's neater, and it builds consensus. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Leader.
So, Mr. Speaker, I have listened to the prayer of the minister, and he says he's relying on the law, which I agree. So, Mr. Speaker, I would not stop him from laying the paper, except to say that the document is laying, if same could be made available to us, because he's laying the paper. So we are ready to allow him to proceed with the laying. So, Mr. Speaker, he should just make it available to solve this matter. Yeah, he should just make it available and distribute copies to members for peace of the day. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I think it is important that the chief normally listens to the kitchen, and these are good friends. But Mr. Speaker, let's put on record. If any of them turns to be a stumbling block tomorrow, there will be crisis. So I accept my good friends, my colleagues, my brothers, particularly the one who has become a non-biological brother in our relationship. I would accede and then get to the committee meeting tomorrow. We'll go through. But yes, we tell them they aren't going to change anything.
Minister, I am personally happy with the stance you've taken now. I mean, if a convention is serving as well, in order to also build consensus, I think is good. So if we have taken that decision, we'll hold on. And I believe tomorrow nobody will stand on our way of laying the block. And so I'm happy that you've taken that stance. Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I should appreciate the intervention of the Deputy Leader of the House and to agree with your cue to the Minister for Trade that tomorrow. But Mr. Speaker, it does not mean that when he comes tomorrow and is still coming to work against established practice and principle, we will let him walk alone and in comfort. I'm sorry, we cannot give him that comfort tomorrow. As you yourself have said, if he comes tomorrow and is working on established convention, which is that, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Dr. Ayeni has shepherded the Committee of Subsidiary Legislation so well that he knows the difference between a Parent Act and a regulation. Having served as Deputy Minister, I don't know where his aspiration, Deputy Attorney General, and Mr. Speaker, he knows his law, and he will not stand the way of the Minister. But what we are saying is that, Mr. Speaker, and this is just to guide us, we have seen in some jurisdictions and even in Ghana, ministers avoiding coming to review legislation and hiding in the name of regulations pursuant to Article 11 of the Constitution on this matter. I know the Honorable Katie very well, and I know his good intentions. So all we are saying is engage the Committee of Subsidiary Legislation at pre-laying, so that the actors, you are talking about export and import restriction, are Ghanaian exporters happy with what you are coming to do? Are Ghanaian importers happy with what you are coming to do? Mr. Speaker, that is why we are called the House of Parliament, the home of the people's representatives, so that at least when you engage at the level of subsidiary legislation, we will begin to understand the mood of the country, the mood of businesses in the country. Then we will be informed whether this legislation is appropriate or not, whether it will serve them well as exporters and importers or not. But he knows that there are some products when he comes to restrict their imports, we'll be happy to support you. Maybe you are borrowing from the president's Sunday list when he said that this particular product, he wants to discourage its imports to Ghana. But Mr. Speaker, we don't want to engage in any act of speculation. He should work with the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation at pre-laying. Then we all will pick up what his intentions are. Mr. Speaker, I'm done.
Speaker, if they are talking law, then we must tread cautiously. I don't think the former minority leader, the former trade minister, a lawyer of many years in practice, is today telling students of law, his juniors at the bar and seniors at such, that indeed conventions and practices are superior to constitutional. But that's the impression you are creating. That's the impression you are creating. That's the impression you are creating. That is the impression you are creating. You are saying that the practices, conventions must be respected. But Mr. Speaker, he knows. Please, colleagues, pay attention. He, Honorable Harun Idrisu, knows that these practices and conventions always give way to the Constitution. Honorable K.T. Amon's argument on all fours stand on firm grounds. He talks about the law. That is so. In any event, Mr. Speaker, let there be no confusion in our minds. That practice that this House introduced in respect of pre-laying was only limited to constitutional instruments. I want to state for the records that the practice, the convention that we enacted by ourselves in this House, where we called it pre-laying, was only limited to CIs. I would want a member to today tell me at any point where an LI or an EI ever was pre-laid. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe that because this has to do with trade and industry, the document itself to be laid must be available. So that one I agree. And that is why I supported the earlier argument by the respected Atu Forsen, the minority leader. I respected that. And I supported him. But where Honorable Harun Idrisu is trying to take us to, trying to create his own jurisprudence on pre-laying and this and that and that, Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Trade, who is your senior, he is your senior at the bar. And he is training us. The trade minister, yes, he became a trade minister before him, but he was a deputy minister before you. He was a senior deputy minister before he became a trade minister. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, my friend Amo Kofi Boy is not here. I wanted to throw a straight bullet. I wanted to do something because, Mr. Speaker, he was once upon a time a cabinet minister, and he told me once that I've never been a minister. If you were here, I would have said, but you are now a deputy minority leader. And a former deputy minister is a minority leader. But he's not here. But let the records inform him that is what I said in his absence. Mr. Speaker, so I want to say that Honorable Harun Idrisu was trying to suggest that a convention is superior to constitution. If he didn't say that, I want him to say so in the record. Well, he gave that impression. He gave that impression in his submission. I want him to get up and speak. You know, so Mr. Speaker, this matter must be laid to rest. It must be laid to rest. He will come tomorrow, but he should make sure that, Mr. Speaker, the minority leader has spoken, the former minority leader has spoken, deputy leader is speaking. You know, the sheep
address me. Address me.
The sheep. The weak people, forces of darkness. let's just rest somewhere.
Leader, address me, leave them. Just address
They
me.
belong to the forces of darkness. They should remain there. And what is your number? 0.
Very well. Honorable members.
Put this matter to rest. Don't entertain.
Honorable members, I think, Leader, are you speaking on the same issue? Leader, just let's move on. Let me give you 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, knowing very well that he's my junior in this chamber, he doesn't want me to speak after him. When we were here, where were you? Mr. Speaker, I came simply because I wanted to correct the erroneous impression that was created by the deputy leader. The Convention of Free Laying involves both regulation and constitutional instrument, but not limited only constitutional instrument. Mr. Speaker, it was brought about in order not for the Parliament to use regulations to amend Parent Act, which was emerging in this chamber. So even in this other paper, there is a regulation that a free laying was carried upon on it. That's why we kept quiet when you were laying the Energy Commission's regulation, because they've done free laying on it. So what we are calling for is for the public not to come and lambast Parliament for saying that Parliament went ahead to lay this regulation without consulting us. So, Mr. Speaker, we don't mean evil, but the right thing must be done. That's what we are calling for. We have no mischief behind it, but we are all importers and exporters. So our interest is not only limited to the other people, but Mr. Speaker, we represent GUTA, the Ghana United Traders Association. We represent importers. We represent exporters. So what we are saying is that we want to get their buy-in in that. So we are not saying go and correct grammar. Go and consult and come and inform us. We will go totally with you. There is no mischief in this. Mr. Speaker, you are saying you are restricting strategic import. Restricting strategic. Read it. So we are careful. We'll go with you. We don't want any mischief, but do the necessary consultation. Don't just go and correct grammar.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. So, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister. So, as we've all agreed, I mean, the subsidiary legislation will look into it. Then tomorrow we will take care of it.
As I've said, they should play their role and leave the rest to me. All this big talk here, they will do this and that. I've done consultation all over the country, Mr. Speaker. I've done all of this. So don't worry about consultation. They've all bought into it and it's all solid. It's all kosher.
Minister, I don't know. I hope tomorrow you'll be with the subsidiary legislation.
Yeah. The way things are going, if I'm not there, you know what will happen. I'll be there at 9 o'clock in the morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Thank you very much. Yes, leader.
Yeah, with your permission, this week's business paper, the Minister of Trade is scheduled to come and answer some 2 questions that I want to put before him. One would have thought that the provisional order paper will be captured there. It's not there, but tomorrow he'll be here. What is missing? So I want to ask those questions. They are very, very important. Those questions border on Omega Sugar Factory. And as I speak, even in this budget, there is nothing on the Omega Sugar Factory.
Honorable member for Bolma Boy, tomorrow is not the only day in a week. If the business statement has captured that the minister will appear before us this week, tomorrow is not the only day in a week. So I think your position is moot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, this is very important, and it goes to the clerks of the House. I have seen the invitation to attend on this House to answer to the questions that have been presented, particularly by your good self. I realize that you're becoming an expert on Commander Factory, and you're always asking questions around those areas. So I know that. But what became a problem is that I was given only about a day. I saw the document, I think, on a Friday. And the letter was written on the 17th, I think, and then forwarded to us on the same 17th to come to the House tomorrow. Because we need time to put this together. So I do know that the Chief Director has written a letter to this House asking for the question to be deferred to a more convenient date for all of us to be able to put our answers together. So I don't know whether the clerk office has received the letter yet, but I am certainly not here tomorrow to answer to the questions because of what I've explained, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Yusuf, I think this is not an issue. You have know whether you yourself or somebody else filed the question, but that will definitely come to answer the question. What is important? So, but honorable members, you know that the debate for the budget starts tomorrow. So we are very mindful ministers coming to answer questions. So that's why probably I know tomorrow the Minister for Communication is bound to come here. Probably that's the only questions we can take from a minister. Then you focus on the budget debate. So the Minister for Trade and Industry will definitely get the House time to come and respond to members' questions. So I think that is that. Yes, leader, give us an indication.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, as agreed, the budget statement commences tomorrow. There is a need for members to prepare adequately to contribute meaningfully to the budget tomorrow, debate tomorrow. Therefore, we are in your hands.
Well, let me hear from the minority leadership.
Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Majority Whip is right. Tomorrow we are commencing the budget on the debate on the budget statement and economic policy. Members are adequately prepared, but they need more time to more time to go and come back tomorrow early. But Mr. Speaker, the essence of the debate is to get the message across for our constituents to know whatever is being discussed here. When on Saturday, when the press corps came, their office was locked. Today too, it was locked. So they reported to me before it was opened. And I want to call on the marshal to make sure that tomorrow that should not be entertained again. And we owe them an unqualified apology. Mr. Speaker, when we went to IPU, broadcasting Parliament was one of the critical things that we emphasized on. And it was for that reason that even when the Speaker is going to IPU or any international delegations, he recognized the press corps and go with even at least one or two. So we cannot be here and the press gallery is locked. Whoever did that, that should be the last time. It should not be repeated again. So tomorrow it must be open early. The media should carry our message to our constituents. And we must broadcast Parliament very well. And I think we have 13 questions. 13. So it will be appropriate for us to commence the debate early, so that after which the question time will follow. Because members need to make a very good input so long as this economic policy is concerned. So I want to put that one across to our dear sister. And I believe the Finance Committee, they are starting the debate tomorrow. But we must start it early before question time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Very well. Honorable members, on that note, we will proceed to adjourn the House to tomorrow, the 21st of November 2023 at 10 o'clock in the forenoon. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the forenoon, the House stands adjourned.